This is part 3 of the discussion of the MnSHIP map, functions, and widgets. I'm going to open up the public map. I'm going to be talking about these widgets over here on the upper right-hand corner. I've already discussed in part 2 the map layers widget. The first widget I'm going to discuss is the base maps gallery. The base map gallery is just a bunch of different background maps that you can turn on and off. So for instance, right now I'm looking at a stylized topographic map, but if I wanted to look at an aerial photograph, I can switch to this label, this hybrid imagery. If I wanted to look at a USGS topo map, I could turn that layer on. Or if I just want to look at regular satellite imagery without any labels, I can turn that on. You can only have one layer on at a time, one base map layer on at a time. The next widget I'm going to discuss is the shapefile upload context. This is for when you want to upload a zipped shapefile onto the map so that you can use it as a reference point. This is helpful if you have a project area of potential effect or a study area or any other thing that you have already in GIS but you'd like to bring it into the MnSHIP application. So I'll click the shapefile upload context button. I'll click choose file. Then it'll have me navigate to a location on my computer where I have a zipped shapefile. So the one that I want to upload is this guy right here. I'll click the zipped version of it and click open. And now, nope, I'll clear that. That's not what I meant. I meant to do polygon. This guy here, excuse me. Okay, so there that comes in. So now I'm turned these map layers off for now, so you can just see what I uploaded here. If I want to turn that on or off too, now it's been added to the map layers, I can just turn it on or off. And we'll come back to why this is also useful to upload shapefiles a little bit later. Another way, if you want to bring in shapes as reference points on the map, is you can add them just in a way where you draw them. So if I click the draw tool, I can now add a point, a line, a polygon, a rectangle, or a circle onto the map. You just click the symbol and click on the map. If I want to make a line, I can add it like that, or a polygon like that, and so on and so forth. If you want to edit or delete something, you click the select feature. I'll click on that point that I created and I want to delete it. So I'll click the delete feature and now it's gone. I'll do the same with the line that I drew and now it's gone. If I want to edit the polygon that I drew, when I click it once, now I can rotate it by grabbing this little circle up here. I can stretch it by grabbing a corner and stretching it. Or if I want to edit the vertices, I can click again, and now the vertices and the midpoints are movable. So I can reconfigure the shape of the shape I drew. And when I click off, then it sort of saves that. I'll put it on a different background map so you can see that a little better. There, that's what I was just doing there. Okay, and we'll come back to this in a little bit later, why it's sometimes useful to add those shapes. Another useful function is being able to print a map. So I'll turn on a layer, turn on the points layer for now so we can take a look at that, and then I'll go ahead and click this print map. Now this print map is just a way for you to make very basic maps of what you're seeing in the application itself. So you can add a title, call it example, and if you go to the exact advanced options, you can add the author, presenter, and a copyright date if you're interested in doing that. And when you click export, oh, and I want to include the legend too. So when I click export, it takes a minute, but it'll create a PDF. And if I had the labels turned on for these points or lines or polygons, they would also show up on this. So if I open up the PDF that I just created, you can see it's just a very, very, very basic map of everything that was on there. I'll go back to the application. Okay, I'll close that. The other function that we have widget here is the map legend. When you click the map legend, it shows the symbology for all the layers that are on. So in this case, all I have on are the county boundaries, the tribal government extents of the reservations and communities, and then the point data. As I turn things on or off, more of those symbols are added to the legend. So this just helps you get a little bit better idea of what layers you have on and then what the symbology is for those different layers. The last function I'm going to talk about, or widget, is the basic search. This is a really powerful tool here for doing searches within the properties that have spatial data in the application. So what this is doing is doing a database search against all the properties that are showing on the map. And now remember, not every property in MnSHIP has a point line or polygon geometry. There's somewhere between 5 and 10% that don't. So in this search, those properties will not show up. This is only querying what is on the map. Okay, so if I wanted to take a look at all of the properties that are on the map that are within, let's say, Washington County, I would select that and click search. And now it's going to take a minute, but now it has selected all the properties that are within Washington County. You can see there's 2,717 of them. If I want to clear those results and do a different search, I'll just click clear results. I can do the same thing with municipality. Say I wanted to look at everything in, I don't know, White Bear Lake. I could click White Bear Lake and click search. It'll take a minute, and now everything is showing up in White Bear Lake. There's other ways that you can search for specific properties. If you know the inventory number for a property, actually I'm going to go ahead and click clear because I still have this query up here, so I'm going to clear it. I'm going to do a brand new query. I want to know where this property is located. So then when I click search, it pulls up the property location and zooms to it. One important thing is, I think on the first video I showed how to do this find address or place. This tool here is just for addresses and locations, but it doesn't connect to the MnSHIP database at all. So I couldn't put in an inventory number and search for it there. It just puts me off in the middle of the ocean or something. Additionally, I couldn't put in a property name in here. This is just looking for things that are on the internet that are locatable given their address or how they're commonly referred to. Okay, so going back to the inventory. If you wanted to look at the historic name, you could do something like a really specific house, like specific search like Glensheen Mansion, or if I wanted to do something like just put in house and click search, it's going to bring me back all of the properties that have the word house somewhere in the historic name. It's a lot of properties. So if you're doing the historic name search, try to narrow it down. And of course, it's only going to give you results back if the word you put in is somewhere in the historic name or if it's all of the historic names. So if I put in Hopkins House here, it gives me the exact return for the Hopkins House. Okay, another thing is that these filters you can use in conjunction with each other. So if I wanted to look for everything within Beltrami County that's National Register listed, and I click search, it's going to give me back everything that is, it fits both those parameters. So everything that is in Beltrami County and on the National Register. So it's going to be, these are and searches. So in Beltrami County and National Register listed. There's another way that you can do winnow down your searches. Let's zoom in over here towards Bemidji. And say I wanted to focus in here on the downtown Bemidji. I'll close this table for now. And I wanted to set my spatial relationship to be, the default is to return everything within the full extent of the map, but maybe I just am interested in what's within the view that I'm in right now. So I say, show me everything that's within the current map extent and is listed. And when I click search, it's just going to give me those properties that fit those parameters. Okay, remember that shape that we drew a little while back that I was editing? So if I wanted to look at all the properties that are within that shape, I would just click only return features that intersect with a shape drawn on the map. And maybe I'll won't do any other filters. I'll just do that real simple one here, and I click search. And what it's going to do is it's going to now show me all the properties that were within that shape. I'll zoom in here. So it took all of these properties, make that, and it selected everything that fit within this oddly shaped shape that I put in. So it put in these it selected these points, and then also these lines that come through. Okay, additionally, you can do that with the uploaded shapefile. I'll clear the